For those in lockdown who are getting ready to go back out into the world, they're about to hear 4 special words.
You got a passport. Why?
In 2 weeks, Victoria will begin trialling vaccine passports in regional areas. 20 participating businesses will enforce a no jab, no entry rule for anyone wanting a beer, a haircut, some live music, or in the case of that ill-fated business Pete tried, all 3. New South Wales is also gearing up for its own trial on October 6, with up to 500 volunteers taking part. And while many businesses are keen for any plan that allows them to open up safely, there are serious concerns.
Our hairdressers just want to get in there and cut hair and not have to be bouncers at the front door.
With the danger of faked passports and belligerent customers, the government's assured the onus to comply will be on the patron, not the venue.
If people want to do the wrong thing, if they get found out, as I said, there could be jail time there.
But
businesses will need to take reasonable steps. They just can't turn a blind eye.
that may be easier said than done. In New South Wales, incidents of customers threatening staff are up 19%. In Victoria, it's up a whopping 85%.
We have over 100,000 clients coming into our salons per week, and we're already managing the mask issue, where unfortunately some people don't want to wear a mask or have a medical exemption, which is already causing complaints within the business.
So is this the way back to nationwide normality, or is it just adding unfair pressure on businesses already on their knees?
Wes Lambert is the CEO of Restaurant and Catering Industry Association of Australia and joins us now. Wes, how do you think this is going to play out?
Oh, look, the reopening at the 70 and 80% are certainly looked upon by the hospitality industry with great welcoming, and we're very happy that we're able to reopen on the 11th of October. But certainly the hospitality industry is asking questions about why the public health order has not yet been issued, with just 14 days left before that reopening.
So what difference would a public health mandate make?
Oh, look, ultimately, everything that has been said in every presser for weeks and weeks has been around what would happen on reopening day and what would be required. And hospitality businesses are looking to that public health order to determine what they're responsible for and what they will need to do to welcome vaccinated patrons back into their businesses.
What are they most worried about? What are they worried about if that roadmap's not clear? The exchanges between customers at the front desk? What's concerning them the most?
Oh, look, it's the mechanism. So businesses have been dealing with masks and QR codes for takeaway and delivery during the entire lockdown during this Delta strain. So they're no strangers to QR codes. But what they are worried about is that the mechanics of checking in may change, or there may be added steps. In Victoria, they will have a fraud prevention device attached to their Services Victoria app, which is different than what I believe they'll do in New South Wales. And around the country, when borders reopen, when states that are currently at zero ultimately end up with community transmission, they will be faced with the same requirements potentially to prove vaccination status. So it is an issue that must be addressed immediately in New South Wales so that businesses and patrons can prepare.
Does technology really solve it, though? I remember the first time I heard New South Wales talk about this, it made it sound like they were going to have machines that go bing, basically. you check in with your QR code and you get a green light if you're allowed in and a red light if you're not. I don't know what's become of that, but ultimately, can you foresee, or are you hearing that there'll be some kind of mechanism that takes the pressure off businesses and it becomes a more automated process?
Look, ultimately, we originally were told that it would be through the Services New South Wales app, and it would be a double green tick based upon checking in with the QR code, and learned, like everyone else, that would be delayed for about 2 weeks while a trial was run in the New South Wales regions. And certainly, we are continuing to press that the QR code system is the best system for businesses to use because it's very seamless for customers because they've been doing it for a long time, and it doesn't necessarily require the business to ask questions. They just need to see a double green tick on your phone.
God, I feel for staff. Like, I know you're saying a system where it's a green tick or a red tick, but as if a green tick is going to be, oh, OK, no worries, I'll leave then. No, I want to come to your restaurant. I want to sit there, and why won't you let me in? Like,
Well, that's what I'm interested in. Like, when you get a red tick, what's going to happen?
Oh, look, ultimately, businesses are required to follow the public health orders, and businesses in New South Wales have done an amazing job throughout the pandemic following the public health orders as they're issued. Mask mandates, QR codes, movement of people in LGAs and distances, certainly businesses have done the right thing. But it will be very important that the New South Wales government sets the rules and the parameters, so it's not the businesses making up their own minds and certainly having to get in confrontation with customers that disagree with the businesses.
And may I suggest, well, it should be a red cross, not a red tick. That's just very confusing.
It's so funny you say that, because while he was answering, that's all I could think of. Not that I wasn't listening, Wes. You made a very good point. Thank you very much for speaking to us tonight.
Thank you.
From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.